Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here is Freak Out, and I'm freaking out because the season's getting here faster and faster every single day. And training camp's been awesome. It seems like training camp's been really, really smooth out in Calgary. And well, they have the open scrimmage tonight in Calgary. Some of the Raptor Freaks are going to be coming down there. It's a very exciting day to go down there and see the Raptors in Alberta in person. The public will get a chance to see the Raptors in action. A really stupid reporter yesterday asked Darko, "What are you guys going to do at the open scrimmage?" Man, some people don't cover basketball, obviously. Some people should not be in the media scrum. I know that was a local guy from Alberta that was not a normal Raptors reporter that said, "What are you guys going to do at practice tomorrow? We're going to have a scrimmage. They're going to play each other." He said, saying, "You guys aren't going to play. What are you going to do?" It's so stupid. And then, "Oh, you guys are going to be serious about it." No, Dargo said they take everything seriously and they're going to be there in a serious way. I don't know. This reporter thinks the NBA is a joke or the Raptors a joke or something. You're asking stupid, frivolous questions like, "What are you guys going to do at the practice tomorrow?" You idiot. They've been doing this for a couple years now, for a few years now, long time now. And in some ways, if you don't know, you shouldn't be covering this sport. You shouldn't be coming in the media if you don't understand the schedule of the Raptors. Doug Smith understands what they're doing today. Josh Lundberg understands what they're doing today. So who are you, random Alberta reporter who comes up and asks Darko, "What are you guys going to do at the scrimmage tomorrow?" You don't know. Like, what are you going to do? Drills? So I'm like, no, they're going to play. They're going to play against each other, and they're going to give a game to the fans. And the fans will see a scoreboard, and they will keep score, jabroni reporter. And the coaches expect the players to play hard and do a lot of stuff on the court to prove stuff to them because they're trying to make a spot on the team. And jabroni reporter, if you don't get that, why are you covering basketball? So go on, you sorry ass self, Alberta reporter that doesn't understand what the open scrimmage is all about tonight. Idiot. Absolute idiot. There was even another dumb question, but this one was from our Doug Smith, asking about Jamal Shed and whether he's big enough to play in the NBA. Why the hell would you ask that after a year after he's proven that he can play in the NBA after his rookie year, Doug Smith, you idiot? In some ways, I can't forgive Doug as easy as I can forgive a jabroni, unknown Alberta reporter who just doesn't understand basketball or the NBA. In some ways, Doug, you should know better on this. And you dumbass questions about Jamal Shed right at the end of Darko's interview at practice yesterday. Yeah, it is goofy, man. But yeah, it's exciting. The Raptors went to Banff and they did their canoe ride on Lake Louise. They've had a really good 24 hours in the last little while. A lot of joy, a lot of happiness, lots of good stuff going on around the Raptors. Let's check in on all of it with all the segments today. Let's see what y'all's comments are saying. And let's talk some Raptors preseason, training camp, basketball. And it's also WNBA finals tonight. So yeah, we got lots to talk about on this Friday Freak Out. Let's go. Let's go to the University of Calgary and see the Raptors play an open scrimmage tonight. Mark Tavares, Seymour Pape, and the crew in Calgary going down there to see the action live and in person tonight. That's right. Trevor J saying first. All right, Commissioner Fun. Some people create their own storms, but get mad when it comes with rain, thunder, and lightning down on them. You know, that's true. Some people do bring their own problems on themselves. And there's all kinds of different ways they could do it. Sometimes it's ignorance. Sometimes it's intentional in a weird way. Sometimes it's just, not being like on top of things and something happens. Create your own storms. If you do it intentionally and you're causing problems around you too, that's no good. That's not a good way to be. That's toxic. So, you know what? Especially in today's world, there's enough crazy ass storms being brewed up by evil people that, in some ways, if you can lessen the drama, save it for your mama. That's what I say right there. So, yeah, thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you very much. He's saying Ingram said he liked how Darko coaches because he loves to be coached that way. Yeah. Brandon Ingram in an interview with the media yesterday asked about the difference about being coached by Darko. Eric Corrine really flubbed that question. It's like he can't speak correctly. It's like he's got something stuck in his mouth or something. But he tried to ask that question. It took him a second attempt to get it right. And Brandon basically saying that, he's very intense. He's a very caring, intense coach who cares a lot and is on top of everything and is organized. And he is asking the players, demanding of the players, a certain level of excellence, energy, and execution. And Brandon loves it. He loves the accountability. He loves the structure. He loves that everybody's bought in because, like I've said, Brandon Ingram don't want to waste his life no more. He may have wasted his life in the NBA for a while in situations that weren't positive or going forward in the right ways. Well, this is a situation where he can take a strong opportunity and reclaim his old career in the stature that he has once stood on as an all-star and a most improved player. And, well, we got to remember who he is and bring it back. Bring it back. And he's excited about it because he can see the path very quite visibly in front of him as an NBA veteran of 10 years, that he knows that this is a healthy team with great organization and a great chance to be successful because he knows what it looks like to run a team right. So, yeah, he wouldn't have it any other way. He loves the way Coach Darko is accountable and calls everybody accountable. His communication is top notch, and everybody knows what page they're supposed to be on and what they're supposed to be doing. And that is a breath of fresh air to Notorious BI3, I'm sure. That is a breath of fresh air. That's right. Trevor's saying, are you ready for the best of 7 WNBA game tonight, Vegas, Phoenix? That's right. They start the WNBA playoffs tonight, guys, and they will be playing in Las Vegas. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. Eastern. Mercury Aces. It is game 1 of the WNBA Finals, and our referees for tonight's game, the crew chief will be Eric Bruton, number 55. Referee Randy Richardson, number 11. Umpire Jenna Renault, number 77. And the alternate, just in case they need her, is Angelica Suffren, number 7. There is some preseason games in the NBA also. Melbourne is playing New Orleans, and Phoenix will play the Lakers tonight. And I have those refs, but I don't care. I'm not going to read them off. But, yeah, Melbourne is playing international against New Orleans. So that's an interesting game right there. So, yeah, all about WNBA Finals action. Aja Wilson, Drew Lloyd, and Jackie Young. They're going to be going up against Kalia and all them. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. I'm going Mercury. Once again, I'll throw my hat in to root for the Phoenix Mercury in this finals because in some ways, a huge dynasty by the Aces is not good for business, Kathy Engelbert. And in some ways, you aren't good for business either, Kathy. That's right. Let's keep going. Boom goes the dynamite. Trevor J. said Russell Westbrook signed a 1-year deal to come back with Oklahoma City Thunder at $4.8 million. I don't think that's true. Trevor. I think you got false information because I'm looking at it right now. I went and Googled Russell Westbrook's name, and there ain't nothing on there about him signing with nobody, man. I think that there was a rumor that he would sign with the Oklahoma City Thunder, but yeah, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. There is no deal. That is a false, fake news. There's nothing about Russell Westbrook signing with anybody, guys. And so, Trevor, fact check your person because I don't see it on ESPN. I don't see it on anywhere else. And that just sounds like a rumor to me. There was a rumor I saw in a couple days ago that said that the Thunder should sign him for a veteran minimum, but I don't think that actually ever happened. That's just a rumor, man. Unless I'm wrong, I don't see it, man. Because, yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing here on the Google News website. Nobody signed Russell. So you are absolutely fake news right now on that one. That is not true. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know where you got it. If you can give me the link and somewhere else, I'll look at it there and I'll tell you whether it's a reputable site. Because honestly, Trevor, sometimes you're posting parody sites, and they're not real sites. They'll literally say fake news as the site, and you'll post it. So just be careful. I have not seen Russell get signed. This would be a bigger story if this happened because he's a big player in the NBA's history, and there's nothing on ESPN saying about this. Nowhere, nothing. So I don't know where you got it. It's not true. Let's see. Trevor's saying the Yankees will play the Blue Jays. They beat the Red Sox yesterday. This is true. And, in some ways, all right, we'll take the grudge match. All right, Yankees, you ain't going to sell Canadians tickets to come to the games. We don't need them to beat your ass. The Blue Jays are favored. We'll start the games tomorrow and Sunday in Toronto, 4 p.m. First pitches, and at Rogers Center, both games on Saturday and Sunday. Blue Jays, Yankees, American League showdown, American League East showdown. Yeah, they took care of the Red Sox in the last wild card game yesterday with a very stellar pitching performance by their pitcher. And, well, that's how it goes. Yankees, it's them. Milbester, you coming to see us today? Because we need to talk to you, Milbester. We need to talk trash. That's right. We need to talk some trash with Milbester now that we know it will be Yankees versus the Blue Jays coming up tomorrow. That's right. James is here. Good morning to Raptor Freak James. Let's see what he's saying. Lex, I know you said Colin Murray Boyles plays like Barkley, but what about Thaddeus Young's? I think that's aiming too low, James. I think that Thaddeus Young was an interesting player. In some ways, look, I don't want to burn Thad because in some ways Thad was a dutiful Raptor, but he did say something stupid after he left. But let's just say this. Thaddeus Young had a lot of promise when he was younger. He had the potential to be some sort of new player when he was younger, but he never really fulfilled that promise. In some ways, he was the pre-OG Anunoby. He was the pre-Vision 6'9" player. Some people have called Thaddeus Young the prototype of Vision 6'9" that led to, the Raptors building the team that they built 5 years ago with the Vision 6'9" kind of moniker. And it was just apropos that the original Vision 6'9" guy, Thaddeus Young, was involved in the Raptors around that time with the wings that we had. No, Thad is a low bar, man. You can't compare him to Thad because in some ways he's going to be way better than Thad Young. And that's not fair to Colin. First of all, Thad is taller. Thad is more I don't think Thad's going to have as good Thad will not have as good offense as Colin will develop over time. So this is lowballing him. Sure. Colin Murray Boyles is not going to be Charles Barkley exactly, but he's going to be better than Thad Young. In some ways, Thad Young is like Garrett. He's a guy who's just a solid pro, a good dude, but he's not really a super excellent pro. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a lot of talent, and we saw him on our team near the end of his career, and maybe he was more slowed down, and maybe he was more dynamic when he was younger. But I'm telling you right now, Colin Murray Boyles is more of a defensive kind of player. Thad Young is a Vision 6'9" prototype, and this is not a good comparison. In some ways, it's lowballing Colin, honestly. If Charles Barkley is a little bit too high of a destination for Colin Murray Boyles' destination, Thad Young's too low for what he could become, is what I'm saying, James. Let's see. Same height, lefty, good defender, high IQ passing, and not a great three-point shooter. Well, I think Colin's going to become a good three-point shooter. I don't think Thad ever really was known for three-point shooting. That's exactly right. But Colin, this is an area where he can be better than him. Also, you got to understand, Thad Young wasn't stealing the ball like Colin Murray Boyles is already. And, I don't like the comparison. I don't think it works. If you want to say because they're left-handed, well, let's just start comparing RJ to CMB instead. Because they're left-handed and stuff. I know you want to compare people like Manu to RJ and stuff like that. But this one, I don't see it. Thad Young is not, man, I want Colin to aim way higher than Thad Young. Let's just put it that way. We want Colin to aim way higher than being Thad Young. Let's just put it that way. Monique is here. Good to see the super fan. She's getting more and more anticipatory and excited and exuberant and exhilarated about the NBA season coming quick. And we do have an open scrimmage tonight, and we do have a Raptors versus Nuggets game on Monday in just a few days that we're getting more and more hype for as training camp moves through the week. That's right. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Let's go, Raptors. 3 more days until the Raptors play basketball. Booked my first preseason ride today. So happy. She's going to be going down for that Brooklyn game, I believe, on the 17th. Are you going on Friday to the Boston game a week from today? That's right. Raptors fans, you could go to the Scotiabank Arena next Friday night and watch the Raptors play the Celtics in the preseason on October the 10th, 7 p.m. It's big time. That's right. That'll be the first preseason game. And then the next Friday, they'll be back and they'll play the Nets, also 7 p.m. on Scotiabank Arena. That's right. Monique is hyped. She got her ride booked. That's right. I love it. I love that so much. That's really like this. The leaves on the trees change. Monique gets her ride or down to the arena for preseason. That's right. That's the fall. That's right. James is saying, I watched some highlights, watched some of his prime highlights when he was on the Sixers. I see a lot of similarities. This is the thing that I mean, in some ways, I get why people always want to compare people and stuff like that. But it's not necessary, James. Every single player is a snowflake. And in some ways, you want to make a generalization and say this player is this player. That's very, very rare where players are very, very, very similar, where you can say that they're very, very similar. So in some ways, we can say there's some attributes of players that are similar. Like the things that I say about Colin that are like Barkley are things like his explosive jumping up, like his ability to get up in the air quick as a guy like with his frame. Also his scrappiness on defense and willing to hit the floor. And also, his ability to shot block is very much like Charles's also. But, I'm not going to go and say everything about him is Charles Barkley. It's just I see actions that are like Charles Barkley. I see actions in Scotty that remind me of Kawhi Leonard. It's stuff like that. There's not stuff that Colin's going to do that's going to remind me of Thaddeus Young. I'm sorry. That's just not a connection I'm going to make. And I'm not going to go dig up old Sixers footage of him just to try and make that connection. So if it doesn't come easily to me, I'm not going to see it. So, yeah, I would just stop on this. I mean, if you want to believe that Colin Murray Boyles is like Thaddeus Young, you go ahead. That's your right. But I'm not seeing it myself. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Monique. All right, let's see. She's saying that what a time to be a Raptors super fan. Yeah, it's a good time. It's promising what's coming up in the season. We just seen an interview with Grady Dick on Raptors Republic with Samson Falk, and he's talking about how there's a difference this third year coming in than his first and his second year on the Raptors. And that, he understood like the rebuild was part of the losing and what was happened in the first couple of years of Darko and his career too. And he's ready to start being more successful, it sounds like. And that Grady feels confident that the Raptors have the talent and the personnel and the place that they are right now to really go out there and strike and get some more wins in the win column than getting losses. And I'm excited for it too, Mo. This is a really great anticipation time for a very promising possible season. And, don't burst my bubble. I want to go ahead and believe that the Raptors are going to be a very, very high ceiling team in this Eastern Conference this year. And I think that it should go that way. It really should. So we'll have to see. Yeah, Trevor's bringing up the interview with Raptors Republic. It just dropped like a half an hour ago. I kind of watched it just before I came on the air. But yeah, good interviews yesterday with Brandon and Darko, and then a little bit with Grady just now. Good stuff. I like that stuff. That's right. Let's see. Mo's saying RJ and Brandon posted literally at the same time. They were eager to get going. Let's go look at the Instagram stories since you brought it up. We got Jacoby wearing his Baylor green. I don't know. He threw a throwback picture up 7 hours ago last night of him in his college days. There he is with Jamal in a boat canoe out in Lake Louise. Yeah, these guys went out and they saw the very epic green blue water, and the blue skies and the clouds and the big mountains around. Really, really awesome sightseeing tour by the whole Raptors team and their coaches yesterday at Lake Louise. And there he's putting on blast Brandon Ingram. It's like Jamal Shed wants to celebrate Brandon. He put a picture of him on his Instagram. He's also celebrating a couple Warriors, just like Elijah Martin, some of his friends. LJ Cryer is on the Warriors training camp roster. He's wishing him well. And then also, who's that? That guy is Laje, number 11, in his year one as a pro. I'm not even sure who that guy is. He's on the Warriors also. These are probably Houston guys that he cares about. Coco James Wade was out on the canoe with Elijah Martin on Lake Louise yesterday, paddling the canoe. And he's saying in his caption, me and Elijah showing how they do it in the South. How you paddle a boat in the South. Is there a difference? Seriously? Oh, you do it on the same side. That's no good. You're supposed to alternate sides with people in canoes. One person rows on the right side, one person rows on the left side. You can alternate too, depending on which way you want to turn and stuff like that. I did learn about how to canoe when I was a kid. They took me to the woods and we went to the lake and we got in canoes and we actually learned how to alternate paddle and steer a boat. And this was in the South. So I guess I learned Southern style canoeing also, just like Elijah and James Wade, because it was in Florida where I learned how to do it. There's also James Wade out on the streets of Banff with, it looks like Scout Ben Uzo is there with him, the great triple-double Ben Uzo, in the picture with James Wade. I believe that's Ben Uzo. I believe that is. There's the Slim Duck talking to Jaylen Brown backstage in the Boston place, and they're talking about something about you got to keep something in the back, saying keeping it down low, some walking in, mean. And I don't even know what they're talking about. It looked like Chris was drinking Pepto-Bismol or something like that. But Jaylen Brown, what are you saying, man? It sounds like nonsense. Legally blind, chill, chat. Come through on the side, chill. What are you saying, Jaylen Brown? Seriously, I know you're a really smart guy, and I love you, man. You're actually the Celtic that I like. But, what are you saying to Chris? I don't even know what y'all are talking about there in your little conversation back behind the scenes there. So I don't even know what's going on there, man. Brandon Ingram posted a bunch of pictures of him in the Raptor Red on his Instagram. So he's starting to really embrace his Raptor mentality and Raptor connection. Now he's going to be playing. We're going to see him in that Raptor Red on the court. And I'm all about it, man. Brandon is going to be something, guys. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a huge effect. Grady Dick and Colin Murray Boyles in a black and white picture on Grady Dick's Instagram. Some pictures from Raptors admin. And there's the beautiful blue water of Lake Louise. And it looks like Grady's in a boat with Colin himself. I think that's Colin. He's in the boat with, I'm not totally sure. Is that Colin? I think it is Colin. Grady and Colin in the same boat. Let's see. Jamison Battle is a genius, apparently, guys. The Raptors admin continues their shenanigans with playing and messing with the Raptors, whether they're full naming them, whether they're asking them who they don't want to ride on the plane with. Now they're asking them brain teasers. And they got 2 100s on a white dry board. And they came to Scotty and said, draw one line and make this 200. And Scotty's trying to put a plus in there. He tried to cross the 100s across, everything, trying to do that. Sandro tried to do the same thing. Scotty was delighted because he's like, oh, we think the same. We have the similar mind. And then Jamison Battle came over, and Scotty immediately said, oh, Jamison will get this. He's the specialist. He's the specialist. I love that. We might have to call there's some new vernacular for the Raptors fans. We need to start calling Jamison the specialist because of this clip. And it's hilarious. He did a good job. You know what he did? He drew a line on top of the 100 on the top, and it said 2-100. And Scotty's like, oh, damn, you're a genius, man. You're a genius. Wow. Because he did. He figured it out right away. And Jamison Battle's like that, I guess. But yeah, the specialist. And we got to start calling Jurassic Park Area 12, guys. We got to start calling Jurassic Park Area 12 now because of Scotty. Scotty is naming things, and Jamison is the specialist now, guys. Jamison is the specialist. Savannah Hamilton is somewhere with some soccer. They're celebrating soccer balls or something. Where is she? I don't even know. Where is she? She's at an Adidas event of some sort, and she's got a little Adidas bag. Okay. Jacoby Walter, his other account, showing him working out, and he's standing there with Jonathan Mobo and Alex McKechnie, and they're putting in some bands work there. It's like Dr. McKechnie getting their kinesiology all set and in the right place. That's right. That's right. There's a highlight of him throwing it down at the practice at University of Calgary. Did you guys realize that the University of Calgary's mascot is a dino? It's like a red raptor, kind of like the raptor. Did you realize that? That's weird. I didn't notice that until this week. There's Jamal and Jacoby in the canoe on Lake Louise. It's a very scenic, picturesque place. I'm sure the Raptors get inspired from such beauty, natural beauty. There's an amazing, beautiful gray, cloudy sky. Looks like there's a heart in the middle of the sky there. I think Jacoby posted it because of that. And there he is, just serious. He's coming. That's right. The home opener for the Raptors is October 24th, 7:30 against the Bucks. Be ready. Now, the Raptors want you to send them some stuff, y'all. Raptors fans, we want you to, on the big screen, show us your Raptors pride for a chance to be featured in-game during the Cross Canada Countdown. Submit your best shots using the link below. So this is going to be kind of like Tangerine fan angle, where Matt Devlin and Jack are asking for pictures of fans at home with their dogs and their kids and jerseys, and they post them in the middle of the game. Well, they need this for the in-the-game ops. So you can send pictures to them, submit now, and you may get your fan picture shown on the Jumbotron at Raptors games, even though you're not at the game. You may not even know that they're using your picture there because you may not even see it, because it may be, well, it's not on TV, obviously, and you may be getting flashed up on the screen as a fan of the Raptors. So if you want to submit a fan photo to the Raptors, they're asking you right now, And you can go find it on their Instagram stories and the place to submit it. That's right. That's right. There you go. There's the thing with Scotty in the hundreds again. Yeah, good job. Oshai holding the whiteboard up. Mamu, very interesting, showing some of his pictures in his media day. And he has a picture of Lake Louise up on his too, taking pictures. And there's Curtis Andrade out in the boat, or no, standing at the sidelines, the equipment manager. There's Colin Murray Boyles, a black and white picture posted from training camp this week, and a big smile there. And there he is with his picture of Lake Louise. So all those guys were over near there right now. Very, very cool. Let's see. Norman Powell posting some Understand the Grind gear, looking good, looking very, very good. Pascal with his PS43. He is at Humber. So he's been around Toronto in the last couple weeks because he was up here at Humber College talking to the kids here in Canada still. So we know that Pascal's still doing stuff here in Toronto. Jonathan Mobo with the picture of him and Dr. McKechnie and Jacoby. Eric Smith is trying to entice the Raptor to fight the Dino, I think. I was bringing up the Dino of University of Calgary. And, well, what are you saying? Day 3, Raptors training camp, 24 hours to respond, Raptor, to the Dino. Does seem like a cheap AI ripoff of the Raptor. But who knows, man? That Dino, in some ways, is, hey, basketball and a red dinosaur. That sounds like the Raptors to me. Jared Roden posting a nice black and white picture from training camp of himself with the Band-Aid over his brow. And it is a battle. It's a battle what they're doing there to try and make this team. Matt Devlin with his check-in. Day 3 in the books for the Raptors. They had kind of a bit of a slower half day because they did go to the lake in the afternoon. So they did morning practice and kind of took the afternoon off to go sightseeing. And, well, they'll probably do a morning practice this morning, and then they'll do their big-time practice in front of the fans tonight. So, yeah, be ready for that, Calgary. That's right. Where in the world is Serge Ibaka? Serge Ibaka is riding around in Paris, France, guys. Serge Ibaka in Paris, France yesterday. So where in the world is Serge? He's in Paris, guys. That's right. Let's see. Morris Peterson is very proud of his son. He had a proud dad moment because his kid's out on the gridiron playing football and playing well. I think he got a touchdown or something. He caught the ball in the end zone. And boom, goes the dynamite. He caught it just over the receiver, just over the secondary. And good job. Proud dad, Morris Peterson. There you go. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Toronto Tempo. All right. Listen to Teresa on the Feisty podcast. So she appeared on a podcast called the Feisty Podcast recently. So check out Teresa Resch on the Feisty Podcast. There's your Instagram check-in for today with what's going on around the Raptors and the basketball world in Canada on Instagram, things that we can see there. Yeah. Sandro Mamu has a really close relationship with the Georgian fighter who's going to be fighting this weekend in UFC. And Sandro is sending well wishes to him on his fight. And the guy sent it back to the Raptors. He said basically that Sandro is a really good player, plays in the best league in the world as a Georgian. And wherever he goes, his fandom goes with him. So go Raptors is what this guy's saying. I don't even know his name. He's a Georgian fighter in UFC, but he's best friends with Sandro. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying here in the chat. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Amit Gaming's here. Good morning, Lex. How are you doing today? Good morning to you, Amit. I'm okay. It's Friday. TGIF for everybody. And it's Friday. It's starting to get a little chillier. I'm wondering when the frost date's coming, because I'm going to have to get all my tomatoes off the plant before the frost comes. And I want to keep them growing. It's crazy because I still got cucumbers and tomatoes growing in my garden right now. All the apples fell from the tree, and I picked all the apples. But there's still like 20 tomatoes on my tomato plant. And there's about 5 or 6 cucumbers still going too. So, I'm itching, and I'm kind of watching the frost date. That's the big thing on my mind right now, other than Raptors basketball, of course. Mel Bester is here. It's funny how we didn't see you since Saturday, and now all of a sudden we see you now, Mel Bester. All right, let's see what he's saying. It's on, Lex. Get ready, Yankees coming to Toronto for a dogfight in the ALDS versus Blue Jays. Red Sox killed us 9-4 in the season series, and then we beat them in the wild card series down 1-2 straight wins. Yeah, I seen what was happening this week. I was wondering if you were going to come around here, but you're not going to come around here until you get successful. Okay, I see how it is. Well, the best team will win, and I know it's the team that's going to be at home tomorrow. So let's go Blue Jays. Let's beat the Yankees just like we did all season. And we need to do it some more. That's right. These are the ones that really matter. That's right. First time in the postseason history, the Yankees and Blue Jays face each other in a series in the playoffs. That's interesting. That's interesting that they never played each other until now. That's very interesting. Well, you know what? The Raptors, when they got to first time in the playoffs to the finals, they did very good, successful things. So hopefully the Blue Jays in their first series against the Yankees can capitalize on that and beat their ass. That's what I'm saying right there. So, yeah, let's go Blue Jays. Definitely pro Blue Jays here. And limit your baseball talk. Seriously, Milbester. This is not Yankees versus Blue Jays freak. This is Raptors freak. It's training camp. We have things that we're talking about. If you have a bunch, like if you have 5 or 6 comments about baseball coming up in my chat, you better start erasing some of them because I ain't going to read them. You might as well just take them down. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Friday. Can't they filter out reporters and media to make sure they ask valid and smart questions? No, not really. Not really. I mean, look, the reporters are weird. They're just like everybody else. They're different. They're a diverse group. Some of them know the job and they do it right. Josh Lewinberg, Samson Folk. Some of them are corny ass, miserable alcoholics that absolutely are miserable fucks, and it manifests through their questions and their personality and their aura. And I'm looking at you, Eric Kareen and Michael Grange. I know you're not an alcoholic, Michael Grange, although you probably tip them back. But I'm just saying, it's just their different personalities. Now, they're going to be random media members as the Raptors travel around in different markets. They're going to show up and be new voices. And that was a new voice. That sounded like somebody from the Calgary area that just maybe covers hockey more, or maybe they're more interested in rodeo or some shit like that. I don't know. It could be somebody who's also kind of like doesn't take the NBA seriously, and you just had to come there to do a report for a magazine or something. Somebody who obviously doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, asking, what are you guys going to do at the practice? Just stand around? What are the fans coming to this for? I mean, seriously, bro, I guess you don't understand this. The Raptors have not been in a Calgary in like forever. So the people in Calgary that are Raptors fans are wanting to see them. Honestly, they could probably play horse or 21 and the people would come and watch them because they just want to see the Raptors in person. And that's what this is, you killjoy, you idiot. You may see no value in the Toronto Raptors or watching them practice, but you'd be shocked how many people around the country would love to come down and see the Raptors in person, see them practice for free in person. Come on now. Come on now. What is this? What is this? Seriously, a jabroni. That's who this is. And honestly, Darko, I love his defense against him. He's saying, look, everything we do is serious. You are coming at me with unserious questions as an unserious reporter. And you want to take my livelihood and what I'm working on in my life and make it a joke? No, we ain't here fucking around, reporter, dumbass. We are here and we're taking everything seriously. These guys are not going to come out and walk through the motions just for the fans, just because they have to. No, I'm watching them. My coaches are watching them. Bobby Webster is watching them, and they are trying to make a team. They're trying to make a rotation. They're trying to make a name for themselves on this Raptors team for this season. And every little point of what they're doing in training camp, this open scrimmage tonight, is taken notes of by the coaching staff, and they're going to decide things from it. So I don't know why this jabroni reporter from the outside who does not understand NBA and all this kind of stuff, or the Raptors, or how serious Darko is. This ain't the Purple Dinosaurs of Barney in the late 90s, and nobody takes the Raptors seriously, idiot reporter. The Raptors are a very serious brand, a multi-billion-dollar brand, a brand that has grown and is a very serious organization since Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster started working for them. And it ain't changed in 12 years. So get with the program, get up with the times. This is not your purple dinosaurs named Barney of the back in the day. No, this is a team that's serious about their business, and they go about their business very professionally and organized, and they're going to be successful. So, yeah, I don't know, Fiercey. They got to let people in because the media market there has reporters that are not normal media strum for us. And they need to get their questions in and put their stories on for the local market. And that's what that is right there. Yeah. What time is the scrimmage? I don't know. I don't know exactly what time it is. Are you in Alberta? I don't know. It's not going to be on TV. We won't be able to see it. Some people will probably film some of it. There may be some raw footage of it, a little bit that gets leaked out on social media. There may be some of it there. There has been in the past where you'll see maybe a 2-minute clip of it, but you're not going to be able to watch the whole thing. You will not be able to see it. It really is for the fans that are there, and it's not broadcast anywhere. There's not like they're going to put on a live stream and let it just run in the corner and we can all watch it. Unfortunately, as much as we would all like that, Shaq Lindsay, you're not going to be able to find this anywhere unless people that are there stream it a little bit or post a little bit of it and put it on their Instagram stories or something like that. There may be a little bit of that. But also, see, this is the thing. If it's anything like the Coaches Open House, which is on the 17th at Scotiabank Arena, and I highly recommend people go to it, they're not allowing fans to come in there to film the practice or to film the actual on-court stuff. Sure, they can take pictures with the players, maybe film a little bit of the players coming out, but they're not supposed to film the drills and they're not supposed to film the actual work that the guys are doing because they do want to kind of keep some stuff secretive and not known out in the public. So we'll just have to see how they go about it, but you're not probably going to be able to watch raw footage of the scrimmage tonight, unfortunately. Milbester, all right, I'm going to skip you. Fiercely saying, we were wondering where you would disappear to the last few days. I really don't care for baseball anymore, but I'm cheering for the Jays, of course. There you go. That's right. Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's go, Blue Jays. That's right. Starting tomorrow, Rogers Center, 4:06 is the time. And we are going to beat the Bronx Bombers, and we're going to send them sad and miserable going home from Canada on Sunday with 2 losses. And the Blue Jays will be up 2-0. That's right. Let's go. Monique is saying, shout out to Jay Lou. Great interview all week, especially with BI. Yeah, Josh has done a good job this week. He's had different various interviews. He had a really nice one with IQ. He had a nice one with Brandon. Yeah. Josh Lindbergh, once again, if I'm going by power rankings on our media, Josh Lindbergh is one of the strongest media members we have. He's a real journalist. He gets the assignment. Like I said, I got major respect for Josh this summer when he stood up for Pablo Torre and said the things he said about him. Because honestly, Josh is a good dude. And plus, I bonded with him talking about Survivor on Blue Skies. And, he's a real guy. He'll give me the time of day. And I like that. Being able to interact with people like Blake Murphy, Josh Lindbergh, different Raptors media people, and they're friendly and they're nice. Eric Smith's another guy who's very, very kind and nice to me, has talked to me regularly in the messages on Instagram. That means a lot because in some ways, I'm not a real journalist like them. I've been trained to be a real journalist, but I'm a fan and I want to be a fan because I want to have the rules of a fan when it covers the Raptors. I can't be like Samson Folk and do the stuff. I mean, I know a lot about basketball, just like Samson, but I don't want to be known as press because being press, you have more responsibilities. As a fan, you can be buck wild and crazy and sing Michael Jackson bad with your friend Neil over the phone, like I did yesterday. But with press, you're supposed to have a certain level of, kind of like dignity. And in some ways, I don't have to have dignity. I'm a fan. But yeah, Lewinberg is high on my power rankings for media people. He's solid. There will be times every once in a while where he'll kind of piss me off because he'll kind of come at the Raptors with a negative slant in his story. And it could be a little toxic for the Raptors. But for the most part, he's very fair. And you know what? I think that the Raptors media understands more we go through the franchise history 30 years in. The Raptors fans don't want to be gaslit. Raptors fans don't want to hear the bad shit about the Raptors. We want to see success. And we're more interested in positive stories about the Raptors than toxic ones that question this problem and this. Like Michael Grange asking Scotty about how they're going to share the ball between him and Brandon Ingram. That's pulling apart. That's toxic. And in some ways, that's why I respect Michael Grange less than Josh Lindbergh. So, yeah, good job, Josh, this week for sure. There's been some real all-stars this week. Samson Folk, S with him. And, of course, the hello and welcome guys really, really helping us out by giving us the raw footage from the interviews during the practices this week. And I appreciate all of them for what they do. Seriously. And those guys are all journalists. Will Liu and Alex Wong are kind of on the tip closer to me as fan journalists, but still, they're still journalists, bona fide with media passes. So Shaq Lindsay saying Jacoby, Mobo, and Ulrich will be putting in work on the 905 this year. I think that Mobo, Ulrich, and Jameson will be down there. Shed and Jacoby will be on the Raptors more. I don't know if Walter's going to make an appearance on 905 this year, guys. I don't think he will. I don't know if Shed will either. I think that both of them are going to be bona fide up on the Raptors. Now, Jacoby may not be an every game guy, but he's going to be, I'm predicting 2 out of 3 games he'll be playing in the rotation. There's going to be like a third night where he has to sit because he's on semi-rotation, and they may have to give those minutes to O'Shea or Grady more on that particular night. But yeah, no, I don't see this. I think that Jacoby's got some good gains with his weight and his muscle this year. And the path for him is to stay on the Raptors and perform at the high level and continue to just try and be efficient in the time that he gets. The thing is, he's going to be a bit player off the bench, and he's going to have to show that he contributes in quick bursts and maybe smaller stints on the court. And that's what we got to watch for Walter. But he's going to be successful. I believe in him because he's trained himself the right way fundamentally his whole entire life. So Jacoby, I don't see Jacoby, but I definitely see Jonathan and Jameson and Ulrich down there for sure. That's right. Milbester's, okay, still talking about baseball. You know, if you're not going to be here all week, I'm not going to read all your comments when you do finally show up. Nago saying New Orleans and United played their games at 5:40 a.m. this morning. Crazy. Melbourne United, is that what you're calling them? Of course, they've had the Abu Dhabi games with Philadelphia and New York playing overseas over in Dubai. And, well, the Knicks beat the Sixers in the first preseason game of the season. I would have guessed that because the Knicks have a way better team than the Sixers, and the Sixers are hurt and they're all weird. And well, Nick Nurse, you lost your first preseason game already. There you go. Boom goes a dynamite. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying O'Shea, Dick, and surprisingly CMB will get plenty of play on the big club. Yes. Now, I would say that Colin's going to play more on the 905 than Jacoby will. That's what I'll say. Colin's going to need to take a dip down there. It may be, God forbid, that he gets hurt and he has to have a rehab assignment down there. That could be it. Or it could be that they're just a little too heavy up top. Or it could be that Colin has a stumbling block on the main level. And Darko feels like he could work out the kinks of the problem in the 905 level. These are different scenarios where Colin could end up down there. But I think, like all rookies, for the most part, end up getting a taste down there. And Grady, even at his position in the draft, he had to go down there. So Colin will have to probably go to 905. I will guess no more than 5 games. But he will be down there for a little stint just to get a taste. Because in some ways, it's important to give a young rookie a taste of where you can go if you don't continue to succeed and do well. And you don't want him to regress to the point where, you know what, if you are not doing well, you may have to play more full-time on the Mississauga team. And in some ways, you want to scare them. You want to say, yeah, go play for 905 for a few games. Go to Delaware and play the Blue Coats and feel what that level is like compared to the Raptors level, and use that fear of never wanting to go back there to make sure you stay at a high level on the Raptors so you won't. So it's good for them to get a taste of it, a little taste of it, every one of them, because that kind of stuff can motivate. Trust me, it can motivate you. Pascal said that. He's like, he went to 905 and he played there and he loved playing there, but he also realized he wanted to get the hell out of there. And it motivated him to become the player that he is today. That's definitely something right there. That's right. Nako saying, honestly, if I was Russ, I'd try to get on Houston. Houston does not have any room. Reggie said this, that with Fred getting hurt, Houston's tied with their hands. They don't have any flexibility to make any moves or sign anyone until December. Actually, they can't do anything until then to trade. And I don't even know their cap's right. You got to understand, they just maxed themselves out making all these additions this summer. They have no flexibility. And now a very key player on their team, Fred VanVleet, has got a torn ACL and their season's in jeopardy. Just because that one key player is out, it's really going to change the Rockets' trajectory with Fred out. And their hands are tied. They don't have any move. They don't have no money to go get Russell, even if they wanted to. Fiercely saying, apparently the Knicks defeated the Sixers in Abu Dhabi, and people are already complaining about Nick Nurse. On the other hand, Mike Brown plays everyone, including the bench. You know, Mike Brown is on an article this morning on ESPN as one of the top 10 most important players or most important people to define this NBA season. And it's true. Mike Brown is such an important, crucial part of what the Knicks are going to do this year if they're going to be successful. Now, this is the thing, man. It's so hard to coach the Knicks in that market. And I want everything to go wrong for our Atlantic Division opponents. And I can see all kinds of ways where this can go wrong for Mike Brown in New York. And well, we'll just have to see how it plays off for the season. Seriously. Because listen, Tom Thibodeau had it all down. He was a good coach for the Knicks. He understood the market. He understood the press. He understood the fans. He understood how to coach that team. And they just overshot and fired him right at the end of the season. The most successful season in years. It's ridiculous. It's so funny they did that. They're so stupid for firing Tom Thibodeau. And Mike Brown's not going to add up to him. And Knicks fans will keep track, and they'll be saying it all year. They're like, man, we should have never fired Thibodeau. We should have never fired Thibodeau. You're going to hear that all year from Knicks Nation. Seriously, you're going to hear that all year because Mike Brown, in some ways, there's no guarantee he's going to be successful in New York. And that market is a bear of a market. I know Mike Brown's been coach of different teams, like he coached in LA, right? And that's a tough market too. But New York's a whole other animal. I'm just saying. And Philly's coming for New York. Nick Nurse already. Nick Nurse. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings. Friday blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Do not let others dump their garbage on you. You are not a garbage collector. Neither are you a garbage bin. Receive only what's usable. I love that. I love that. Blessings to Phyllis family and all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah. You want to have people in your life that add to your life and not detract from your life. And sadly, there can be people that are in your life and you can't do anything about it that really take more withdrawals than deposits. It should be even between friends and family and loved ones. That, there's a symbiotic relationship where you give and you take and I take. And it's very like an equalized relationship. But some people will emotionally dump all their shit on you and then they won't be there for you. And that's no good. You don't want that kind of relationship. It's one-sided. And in some ways, you don't want people that are actively disruptive to your life because of their own drama, going back to Trevor's words of wisdom, that they create for themselves. So, yeah, blessings of Phillips family. I agree with this. We're not garbage bins. But Colin Roy Bull is going to be a garbage man this year. And hopefully he's going to clean up a lot of offensive rebounds, putbacks, and get a lot of garbage points. So, yeah, that's the kind of garbage collecting we like. Right there. Fiercely Santa, it would be so nice to have the capability to watch the scrimmage. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, Raptors, are you listening? Are you listening? Is there some way y'all can do this to get us the ability to watch it? Because we will. The want to do it. Some people say, why would anybody want to watch it? It's practice. Man, we're talking about practice here. It's practice. So you can be a little bit like the reporters, like, what are y'all going to do? Stand around and do weave drills? It's like, well, why would anybody want to watch the Raptors just practice? Bullshit. There's a market out there that will want to watch this tonight, Raptors. So I don't know how you could do it. I don't know if you would live stream it on official Raptors YouTube channel or whatever, whatnot. But the demand is there. We would love to see it. But I don't know if they'll get that together in time for that. That's right. Monique saying, dear Pat Bev, shut your mouth on Grady. Shaking my head. Yeah. Patrick Beverley is obviously a major Raptors hater. He's absolutely a hater of the Raptors. And I don't know what it is. How did we hurt you, Pat Bev? Why are you so upset and butthurt about the Raptors all the time? How did we hurt you? Where did we hurt you? Did we eliminate you at some point? Did we kick your ass? Or are you just a xenophobe like Jeff Teague and you just picking on us because we're the Canadian team? What the fuck is this, Pat Bev? Seriously. You don't even play in the league anymore. Who the fuck are you, Patrick Beverley? Seriously. What he said basically is that he doesn't think Grady Dick's that good. He also said that he thinks that Grady's only famous or good because or talked about because of his last name. And in some ways, he's not about the jersey swaps with Grady. And in some ways, he's like, yeah, this guy's only known because of his last name. It's really degrading what Patrick Beverley said about Grady Dick. And in some ways, you know what? You're going to pay for this, Patrick Beverley, because Grady Dick's going to come out and he's going to kick some major ass this year. And you'll eat your words. He's not even as good as Luke Kennard. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, Grady Dick. You know what? In some ways, Aaron Ben Rose came and slam dunked you, Patrick Beverley, with his little fast, quick TikToks. That's right. He came out and he called out Pat Beverley about dogs, his dog comment from a couple of years ago. And then Aaron Ben Rose went on about how the Raptors have built their whole team into dogs now, that their whole team is dogs in some ways. So, yeah, stuff it. Pat Bev. And you know what? I'm not into the really quick TikTok consumption of social media. Like Aaron Ben Rose's medium is like maybe you could fit like 1,000 of his into one of mine, and that's fine. I'm older, and in some ways we like the long form here on the Raptors channel of Raptors Freak channel of 2 hours. But yeah, you can want to watch 15 seconds of Raptors content where a young man just goes really fast and says the Raptors are employing all their players are dogs. Patrick Beverley. Yeah, you go ahead and watch Aaron Ben Rose if your attention span is short and you can't handle 2 hours of Raptors Freak. That's right. Shaq Lizzie saying it's telling when a rookie takes your spot on the rotation. Mobo needs to take a leap this year or next year. Hang on, it jumped ahead. I want to make sure. Or next year he might be off the team. Friend or no friend, those roster spots are not cheap. Well, Shaq Lindsay, that's not fair to Jonathan. We've got to remember who Jonathan is. He's the first pick in the second round. Colin Murray Bowles is the 9th pick in a lottery, and that supersedes that in some ways. You can't say that Jonathan lost the spot because Colin came in and took it. No, in some ways, sadly, the NBA is structured for playing time and starters and stuff by your pay and where you get drafted. That's why in some ways you want to get drafted high. If you get drafted lower and lower and you fall in the draft, it not only loses your money, but it also may lose you the opportunities to get more higher on the rotation. So Jonathan, in some ways, wasn't even maybe going to get drafted, guys. In some ways, he got put on our radar, partly because of Scotty, but also because Bobby went out to San Francisco and watched him, and he knew if he drafted him, Scotty would be very happy. You know, there may be a world where Jonathan Mobo does not get in the NBA because he doesn't know Scotty Barnes. And, there's a lot of different things here. You cannot downgrade Jonathan just because Colin comes in so well put together and taking a spot. Don't do that. In some ways, you're comparing two players on the roster, and their journeys are different. Colin Murray Boyles is a lottery pick. Jonathan Mobo is a second-round pick. And Colin, in some ways, has got a talent that is a little bit more refined than Jonathan's already. So you can't do this. Don't do this. And don't infer just because Jonathan moves down the pecking order further because of a more talented team that he's probably going to be off the team either. I mean, does that happen to the Antetokounmpo brother? Just because I know they bring him back. So I'm just saying, man, I know what you're saying. You feel like it would be true, but I don't think that's a problem for Jonathan. I think that for him, his own path is his own. And that the Raptors look at him in a development way for himself, and they're not gauging him against Colin. Now, sure, they want to get the best play out on the court, and that may be that Colin Murray Boyles does get more time, but you may be surprised to see that Jonathan Mobo is actually getting even time with Colin for parts of the season this year. So we just have to see how it plays out. The whole thing is that they got to go out there and do well to get that time. And if Jonathan's playing better than Colin and Colin is having rookie problems, Jonathan will get those minutes. So we can't determine this right away. It is showing that Colin is going to be probably higher on the pecking order than Jonathan this year. But don't take that as a slight to Jonathan. We just got way more talented this year, and that's part of it. And it's a difference between a lottery pick and a second-round pick. That's it right there. So yeah, I don't think that you should be like writing off Jonathan. It is really important that we keep him around. And in some ways it's for vibes. In some ways it's for Scott. In some ways it's like the dude is not causing any problems on the team. He's useful. And even if we can keep him around and he's near the end of the bench, he'd be a good person to have around for utility, just in case in different ways. So I wouldn't write him off just because Colin's come in. I wouldn't. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rap Freak Crew. TGIF to you, Coach Cool Cat. Hope you're doing really well. Mo's saying, yes, I'm going to both preseason games. So she'll be there both Fridays. So she'll be there next Friday and the Friday after, the 10th and the 17th, Boston and Brooklyn. Monique will be there to see Chris Boucher in the ugly green jersey for the first time on next Friday. That's right. Trevor's saying Darko makes players be better to perform better on defense and offense. Yes. I mean, I love how detailed they are. Grady in his interview with Sampson that came out this morning, it talked about nutrition and talked about things and his eating habits. And, he's a snacker, and he put a Crispers ad in there and Uncrustables, stuff like that. He did name drop a little bit. Some of that stuff doesn't sound totally healthy. But then again, a young 21-year-old like Grady can still kind of get away with metabolizing really shitty food and still probably being in pretty good shape. But yeah, this is the thing. The Raptors are going to try and maximize their players and their value by really getting them the right nutrition and plans to develop and get better and better. And that's the awesome thing. I mean, the Emmanuel quickly gains on muscle is just fantastic. Fantastic. Emmanuel never gained any of that muscle while he was in New York. Why not, Knicks? Why didn't Emmanuel gain any of the muscle he's got right now coming into this season when he was in New York? That's because you guys don't have the same dietitians and staff that we have here in Toronto. You just don't have it like we do. And well, Emmanuel quickly is going to be a stronger, better defender this year because we guided him and gave him the right path towards that. That's right. Carbs, baby. It's all about carbs. That's right. Fiercely saying wasn't following Thaddeus in his early days, but while he was on the Raptors, I don't recall his defensive prowess to be highlighted as much, unlike Colin, who's been identified as a shit disturber and annoyance. In some ways, James is right about Thad Young's early career. It was much more dynamic, and he did score around 16 points. So, I mean, that would be the Thad that I would compare him to, is the young Thad, for sure. Not the Thad that was on our team. Not the Thad that was our team. And there may be some shades there. It's just in some ways, I don't really want to. Once again, I think that most players get really kind of annoyed about being compared to people all the time. In some ways, people just want to be themselves and be known for who they are. And when people kind of try and say, oh, you're just like this person, some of them get insulted by it. Some of them get insulted by it. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying Sixers are in trouble. Damn, 3 for 26 from the field. Love VJ, but he's not a three-point shooter. The Sixers' best players are undersized, which don't work well on defense. Yeah, there's a perfect storm of problems there. Their best important player is going to be hurt. His knee is going to be a problem. Tyrese Maxey can only do so much. VJ Edgecombe is a scorer like Russell Westbrook, and he's not necessarily a good shooter. So there's going to be different issues with their team. Paul George is in himself just a problem in certain ways. That dude's not going to show up and do jack shit for y'all Sixers. He's stealing y'all's money. You might as well call him Ben Simmons. Seriously, I could see that. Fiercely saying that was a good backup plan when needed, but I preferred Kem Birch as a 5. Yeah, that really wasn't a 5. It annoyed the hell out of me that we had to play him at center at times. And that just was kind of like Masai and Bobby shorting us at the center position. And this is part of like why Cool Cat and I for years were like, we need more centers. We need more centers. Because playing Thad Young at 5 was never ideal. Never ideal. Shaq Lindsay saying New York trying to play faster. I don't know how well it works with flat footers like Towns. OG is a great defender, but I don't know how good he is on the break when it comes to defending. I guess we will see. Now, this is the thing that like Darko and Bobby and Masai before, and Masai is still going to be talked about on this channel because we love you, Masai. Fuck you, Ed Rogers III. 2-finger salute. Because listen, Masai Ujiri is still in contact with Bobby, and the way that they built this team ahead of time is to look to the future. And they've seen the future of what Oklahoma City and Indiana did in the finals this year in the NBA, and we were already ahead. So there's a lot of teams that are built the old way in the superstar model with trying to get 3 superstars on their team and really not having a really good fleshed out roster. Scotty said this himself in his press conference in one of the interviews this week, saying that I like this team because we're not top heavy like a lot of NBA teams. They'll have really good 3 or 4 stars in their starting lineup, and then the rest of the team is just not that good deep into it. And Scotty really values having like 12 to 14 deep on our team right now. And he sees it that way. Well, in some ways, if we're going to do the expenditure on defense like we're going to need to be that deep. And other teams may not have built their rosters for the new kind of frenetic defensive intensity that this NBA is turning into. And if the Knicks are trying to turn it on and play that style all of a sudden under Mike Brown, I could see huge failure coming from their personnel trying to employ the same kind of tactics that we may be using up here. So that, yeah, think about that. Seriously, it's not everybody can do this crazy stuff we're doing. And some of those players at some point might rebel. Like if Mike Brown really does try to make them full court press and play all out, and it's not with their natural builds, Jalen Brunson, Cat, and all them, they will rebel. And they may even get lazy. And they may be really toxic. Because they're like, I don't like Coach Brown. He makes me work too hard. Seriously, I can see this as being a problem if that's what they're trying to do and they don't have the right personnel to pull this off. Shaq Lindsay, great observation. Trevor J saying Matt Devlin was on the Hello and Welcome. Check it out. Yeah, they apparently do this interview, an hour interview with Matt Devlin every season before the season. I have not watched these interviews. I love Matt Devlin. I think Matt Devlin's awesome. He's a great play-by-play, and I'm sure he has some really good insight on the Raptors in the season. And he's probably telling William and Alex that he's really excited about the season and how good they're going to be this year. But no, I have not watched that hour-long Hello and Welcome interview with Matt Devlin from yesterday. I have not. Milbester's saying New York sports fans of all New York teams are the worst. Yankee fans chanting "fuck the Blue Jays" outside of the stadium after beating the Red Sox. I saw a video of that. We don't care. Honestly, Milbester, Americans are ugly people at this point. They're racist, homophobic, transphobic, ice-loving pieces of shit. If that's your mentality and you guys want to be like that, well, that's sad. And it's like, you go ahead and have no class and walk around and say shit like that. We don't care. Honestly, we'll let the bats do the talking. We'll let the K's from our pitchers do the talking. And we'll kick y'all's ass on the field. Y'all can be unclassy and act the way that y'all do, and you'll just look bad, just like the whole entire country of America looks bad to the world right now. It's just par for the course these days. You know, the good Americans, the great Americans, they're within. I feel for y'all. I feel for the real democracy, freedom-loving Americans that actually understand what it's all about. I'm very happy that the generals just stood there and sat there in silence during Trump's little dictator bullshit. And he looks so crazy and unhinged and full of dementia in his brain that it's like this country is led by a lunatic dictator wannabe who's absolutely losing his marbles in real time in front of us. So it's like, yeah, what do I expect that from New York? Well, I mean, America's ugly as fuck right now. The beauty of America is done, and it's symbolic in the fact that they shut down the government and the Statue of Liberty is shut down right now because nobody is getting paid to run it because Donald Trump's a dictator and he's strong-arming and he's trying to cut healthcare for the people in the back door through a government shutdown. And he's trying to blame the Democrats and he's put it all over the government websites and like made people change their messages behind their back. Yeah, he's totally a propaganda machine. And he's the cause of all the evil and wrongs in the United States right now. The president and MAGA and the Republicans. They're absolute dirtbags. They're scum of the earth. And they are the modern day Nazis of this world right now. They are fucking just as racist, white supremacists as the Nazis. And everything from the playbook of the Nazis and Nazi Germany is being played right now in the United States. So the Americans need to wake up and keep fighting and resisting. And remember, once again, the emperor has no clothes. That's your best defense. This motherfucker's an idiot. And if you don't respect him, you make him a joke. They're going to try and send people into Portland with the National Guard. Well, Portland, you go ahead and be bohemian and fun and arts and crafts and make them look like jokes, standing around trying to guard a war-torn city of hippies that love granola and folk music. Yeah, you go ahead and send them there, the peace-loving town called Portland. You fucking dumbasses. Seriously, America is degenerating in front of us. And I'm not surprised there was a video of that. You know, I didn't see that, Milbester. You didn't have to show me the ugly ass side of your fan nation. I didn't care about that, honestly, too. But you got a little tirade on how fucked up America is right now from it. That's what you got. Milbester saying Monique is saying Matt Devlin on the recent episode of Hello and Welcome. Yeah, I didn't watch it. It's too long. And in some ways, it's like, I'm sure that Matt has a lot of good points, but in some ways, I'm not trying to watch, like, even the recaps from S and Samson. I can't watch those too much because in some ways, those guys have opinions and they have observations about the Raptors. And I don't want to listen to them and then copycat them or parrot them. I want to come to my own conclusions on my own. So when I take in content, I'm not watching so much commentary from Raptors channels, like whether it's Raptors Republic or Hello and Welcome or any of them. When they sit down and do their hour-long things where they talk about what they see, I don't watch those because in some ways I don't want to rip them off. And in some ways I may say some of the same things as them. And I can always say, well, I didn't even watch you. So how the fuck are you going to accuse me of ripping you off? So I come upon my opinions on my own. And in some ways, I think Samson Falk's brilliant. I think that he's amazing. And sometimes he can be okay, but he annoys me sometimes with some of his takes and his attitude. But for the most part, I'm not trying to copycat no other Raptors creators. And that's why I don't watch Chev. That's why I don't watch any of these guys, because I want to come to my conclusions on my own and talk about them here. And that's how I do it. That's right. It's too bad because I know that these guys make good work and y'all should watch them. I'm not saying y'all don't watch them. Go ahead, watch Hello and Welcome. Go ahead, watch Raptors Republic. It's just that I can't watch their breakdowns from the practices too much because I don't want to rip them off. I want to be able to say what I said because I came up with it from myself and what I saw. So Seymour is saying Raptors shouldn't have went to Banff. They should have went to Drumheller. It's a town modeled after a dinosaur. They have a different dino on every street corner. Amazing little town. That does sound like somewhere they should go for sure, Seymour. I hope you're doing really good, Sheriff Seymour Pape, holding it down for us. That's right. 7 p.m. Mountain Time is when the practice starts tonight. It'll be at 5:30 p.m. run till 7 p.m. He's all about it. He's going to be there. Yell that Raptors Freak, wear that shirt, and hopefully you get Scotty over there. I don't know if any of the other Raptors know about Raptors Freak, but if y'all start yelling Raptors Freak at them, maybe somebody will come over and take a picture with you. I hope that they do. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works tonight. Seymour saying, sorry, Saskatchewan. I know you wanted the camp, but it was meant to be for Calgary. University of Calgary is known as the Dinos, so it fits. Yeah. And I don't think they've ever done a training camp in Calgary, at least not anytime recently. It may have happened early in the Raptors' history, but I can't remember them being in Calgary in the last 10 or so years or so. I think that it's smart. I think in some ways this is symbolic of MLSE getting taken over by Ed Rogers and Keith Pelly, and that they see that Calgary is a huge burgeoning market in Canada, and they wanted to test the Raptors brand in that area. And that's why they're there this year. I think that's why right there. That's it right there. Neil is here. Good to see Blackhawk. Thank you for the call yesterday. And thank you for your support of this channel, Neil. I really appreciate you. Mike Brown has a better cast with the Knicks than he had with the Kings. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can get behind that. But also, I still think that the Knicks have a very flawed team. And Jalen Brunson and Cat are two of the main reasons. That, once again, I feel like the Knicks are going to be stunted by Jalen Brunson. In some ways, it's a great story. Jalen Brunson's dad played for the Knicks. He grew up on the Knicks. He loves the Knicks. He wanted to come back to the Knicks. But in some ways, he's going to get in his own way. I describe this stuff with Joel Embiid. He will never win a championship in the Sixers. I think it's the same for Brunson. Because in some ways, like we saw in the playoffs last year, Indiana had a quick solution for Jalen Brunson and neutralizing him and actually using him against his own team to defeat them in the series in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So I think that Jalen Brunson has a huge weakness that everybody in the NBA knows, and that as long as he's playing on the Knicks will never win because everybody can just use that weakness against them. And then you add in that Cat and him don't really play well together. They don't guard well on defense enough to even try to do anything like what the Raptors are doing. And Cat is going to be a detriment to them also. And on the down low, the whole time he was on Minnesota, he was a detriment to the Timberwolves. On the down low. And he was part of the main reason that Jimmy Butler went off on the Timberwolves when he was still there and yelled at all those guys that they weren't taking things seriously. That's what I'm saying right there. That's a really big problem when your two most important players are actually two of the biggest problems between you and a championship. And that's what I see in New York. Seriously, they may have a better overall talented team, but they have some real problems if they're going to try and get all the way to the top. And it was shown in the playoffs last year. It was shown in the playoffs last year. That's right. Seymour saying online tickets sold out within 72 hours. So, yeah, you do have to pay to go to the scrimmage, but you don't have to pay to go to the open practice, the open coach's house on the 17th. If you're a coach and you want to go down there and learn some coaching from the Raptors coaching staff, October the 17th in the morning, and the Raptors will play Brooklyn later that night. They're doing the coach's open practice, open house. And you can see there, yeah, Kennard over Grady is a low IQ take. In some ways, he's not wrong right now. Kennard, in some ways, is a better NBA player than Grady right now just because he's been in longer and he's more experienced. But Grady has a wider bag of tricks, and he has way more stuff that he can do that Luke Kennard can't do. And as he does it more and more, he'll get there. I like what Grady was saying in that interview with Sampson about figuring out his efficiency and his spots and figuring out, when to pump fake and when not to. And all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff with Grady and retooling himself and figuring out how to do things. And plus, never underestimate getting some more muscle and being stronger and how that can help your game. And Grady's looking stronger once again this year. He's grown up. He's growing up. That's right. Blackhawks saying Patrick Beverley can eat an ick. Yeah, I don't even know. He's just got a podcast. He's playing in Israel, right? He's not in the NBA. So what the fuck, man? Seriously, I wish that guy would go away. Seriously, it's always I wish he would. Fiercely saying, I mean, we watched Rico Hines for 2 summers, so the scrimmage would definitely be an upgrade. It's not. I think it's just it may have to do with Darko. It may be like, no, I'm not comfortable with us broadcasting the whole entire practice. There's scrimmage or something like that. It may have to do with the team. It may be that they just don't want it. I mean, they don't film the coach's open house and broadcast it to everybody. They don't, because they don't want everybody to just see it or be able to go and see it online. So, NBA teams do have some proprietariness to their practices still. There's a reason why the press doesn't come in and watch the whole practice. They're not allowed in there the whole time. They wait outside, and then they get let in at a certain point, and they get to watch a certain section of it. And there's maybe a lot of stuff that the Raptors are doing behind closed doors that they don't want the public to see. And there could be some of those elements involved in the open scrimmage tonight. And that's why they don't want anybody to see it like that. So I think that's why, guys, right there. Rico Hines runs is a totally different kind of thing. Totally different kind of thing. Shaq Lindsay saying, don't get me wrong, I like Mobo. I'm just saying the NBA is cutthroat. I agree with you. And I do agree with your sentiment that is like, if he's not helping the team and we're just having him in a roster spot, just to have him in a roster spot, we shouldn't have him just for that reason. Maybe like Giannis's little brother, or his brother. I think he's his older brother. It's not like that with Jonathan, though. This is the thing. And when we got Jonathan, and I should go back and say, you know what? I did get that draft right, because I called Jonathan Mobo going to the Raptors 2 months before we drafted him. And it really was because of Scott and his connection. I was like, you know what? I even appealed to the Raptors, said, y'all should pick Jonathan Mobo. And they did. And that was like, boom, right on the head. I got Koloko right, too, the year we drafted Koloko. The thing with Jonathan, though, is like in the beginning of the season, I was like, all right, the tough thing for Jacoby is his namesake. He's Jacoby. He has to live up to having Kobe's name. Well, the tough thing for Jonathan is he has to live up to, I belong in the league, and I'm not just Scotty Barnes' best friend. Now, last year, I watched him without the lens of him being Scotty Barnes' best friend. I just watched him as Jonathan Mobo, and he fit. He belonged in the NBA. This is not a charity case. This is not somebody that is not an NBA body. He has an NBA body. He has skills enough. He has enough in his bag that he's a very productive NBA player. So I killed that whole thing in my head about, well, Jonathan's just here because he's Scotty's friend. And I've killed that narrative in my head. He's proven in his first year that he's an NBA player that stands on his own, regardless of his relationship with Barnes. So going forward, the thing is with him, we just want to see him continue to excel and develop and grow and get better. He's a very useful player. Forget if he's even knows Scotty Barnes. If he was just on our team, I'd be like, that dude is good. We want him on our team. So I get it. It is cutthroat. And you're right. In some ways, all those guys from last year, not Shed and Walter as much, but the other guys, even Shamshay, they can't fuck around. They need to continue to progress and show that they're growing and getting better and better. Jameson, Jonathan, and Ulrich. Ulrich is on his way. And we'd be stupid to not see Ulrich all the way through, because he is going to be somebody, and he's going to be amazing. Mobo, I don't know how much higher his ceiling is, but he's already useful enough at where he's at right now that he warrants a roster spot. So it's like, and especially if he can be on the team cheap, and it's like, he's there for vibes. He's just such good vibes. I mean, Scotty is very happy that Jonathan's on the team with him, I'm sure. And we can't poo-poo that. We can't poo-poo that. That is something that is important. It's very, very important. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Basketball distraction coming, but not ignoring the dysfunction around us. Quality of life in a peaceful way amongst fellow Raptor Freaks enjoying the games is soothing. Yeah, we need some sort of something to turn to love, to distract, to help us feel like, okay, let's just get our heads off of some of the dumpster fire that is burning down in the United States government right now. And, let's just go to basketball. Let's enjoy the Raptors. Let's enjoy our lives and the simple things. Let's, go out and find your joy. I say that right now. It's like people are saying more and more, it's punk rock to be kind. It's punk rock. It's punk. It's anti-authoritarian to like have joy, because in some ways they're trying to steal everybody's joy. And the Raptor season brings us, the Raptor freaks, a lot of joy. So let's embrace it. Let's go to it. Because in some ways, look, I'm going to do a Saturday Share the Love Club tomorrow that may be a little different than the ones I normally do. I'm going to do a Saturday Share the Love Club for the whole entire NBA. Because, listen, we've learned from the pandemic and other times that nothing is for granted. We need to understand the fact that we can watch NBA games coming up very soon is something that is a luxury in some ways, because there could be events in the world that happen in the next few years where we may not get NBA games to watch because of really fucked up shit happening. So I want to take a moment of gratitude tomorrow and share the love for the NBA coming back, just in general. That when the leaves start churning in the fall, if people get sad because it's winter's coming faster, and I don't, because I know the Raptors are taking to the court soon. In some ways, that's our Saturday Share the Love Club. The NBA, all of it. The NBA, that's right. Preseason, regular season, the playoffs, everything. We are sharing the love for the NBA, and just the privilege and the it being in our lives and it coming around again right now. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, Bev's been everywhere. His agent probably fumbled an opportunity to be traded or picked up by the Raptors, or maybe Masai and Bobby said, no, thank you. Yeah, I don't care. I don't think it's anything like that. I think that it's just Patrick Beverley has been on the Sixers. He's been on a couple other teams. You know, he was around Nick Nurse after he left the Sixers. Maybe Nick Nurse was saying some shit to him about Toronto. And he's like, man, fuck them. They did you wrong, man. And he's all like kind of got against us when he was playing for Nick in Philadelphia near the end of his NBA career here. I don't know. It could have been some other thing where he came to Toronto. He had a bad experience. Maybe it could be that he was on a team and the Raptors kicked their ass. I don't know. There's some sort of chip on his shoulders. And it could be as simple as he's just a dumb American who just hates the Toronto Raptors because they're the Canadian team. Who knows? Who knows? Patrick Beverley, I'm not trying to figure him out. He's an idiot. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex and Rat Free Crew. Good morning to our WNBA fantasy champion, Kaz. I've still got your trophy. I'm going to have to figure out how I can get it to you since there's a postal strike. I support Canada Post workers. I'm not listening to any of the bullshit out there that's making them the villains. I stand with the unions. I stand with the people that picket. And if you're upset that your packages aren't getting set, well, just get upset at the government who's not paying them correctly or dealing with them right. Don't listen to their bullshit that they're lazy and they're wanting extra stuff, that it's the postal workers' fault. Nope. Stand in solidarity with the workers and the union and stand on the side of Canada Post. The inconvenience that we feel, in some ways, that's their bargaining leverage for them to get what's right for them in their jobs. And I always stand with unions. So, yeah. Don't be believing this bullshit about Canada Post. There's probably going to be a lot of stuff on social media saying this and this. They're spoiled and all this stuff. No, these are hardworking men and women that have been bringing you your mail for a long, long time. And the real truth is that there's forces in our government that want to privatize everything. So they don't give funding to the hospitals or education and the postal service, and because they want to privatize it and make money off of it in really weird, unscrupulous ways. So if you like public services like Canada Post, support the union workers that are on strike right now. And don't get mad at them. I'm sure Kaz will be fine with getting his trophy when he gets his trophy. And it's not like it's a big deal that these people are on strike. That's what I'm saying right now. That's right. Fiercely saying, I'm still baffled by the audacity of Raptors admin to post Masai recently. Like, what? No, I think that's awesome. Why wouldn't they post Masai? Masai's a part of our history. They're going to post old pictures of Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan every once in a while and share the bromance of our Lowry and DeRozan. We're going to show pictures of Vince Carter from back in the day. Masai Ujiri is an important part of our history, and he should never be written out of it. No. And men, you want to show honor and to Masai and bring him back and show his face on your posts. I have no problem with that. No problem with that. Masai forever. That's right. Masai forever. Wayne's saying, is this a basketball thing? Always comparing current players to past players? I don't hear this constant comparison in other sports genres. Comparison is made as to who's the best player, not by position. Well, I like the question, and it was brought up again by Eric Kareen, idiot. He still misquoted it. He asked Brandon yesterday, you said the other day when you compare yourself to other people that you are doesn't usually go well. That's not what he said. Once again, once again, Eric Curry. He said basically, I don't compare myself to other people. I compare myself to myself because that's the way I get better. And I'm not trying to hear all the noise. So, I think Wayne's right. I think in other sports, we don't hear as much comparing. Do they do this in baseball, Milbester? Do y'all compare young players of this generation to older players of the time back in the time? Like, is somebody saying Vladdy's just like Cecil Fielder? Or Prince Fielder's just like Cecil Fielder. Oh, Vladdy's just like Vlad Guerrero Sr. Who's doing this? I mean, I get it. Wayne's kind of right. I don't remember this. Maybe in football, some linebackers might get compared to linebackers of the past. Oh, you're just like Bubba Smith. Police Academy. Yeah. Hightower. Yeah, you're just like Bubba Smith. Yo, bro, you run like Barry Sanders, man. I mean, maybe. There probably is that kind of stuff going on in other sports, but I get it. In some ways, I get annoyed with the comparisons. I know that the players do. And I think that journalists like Sampson and them are kind of like, we don't try to do these either, is because in some ways, it's just like, I get it. To people that want to understand players, like, when we're doing the draft scouts earlier in the year before the draft, it's helpful to me. If there's a new player that I haven't seen from college and you guys are coming in and saying, this guy's kind of like Tony Kukoc or something like that, then I can kind of like get a sense of what I should be looking for or what you guys see him as. So there is some usefulness to it maybe in that area when we're doing like the scout of the day in January to up to the draft. But I think for the most part, once players start to become who they are in the NBA ecosystem, they are solely themselves uniquely. And I agree with that. Yeah. Shaq saying, let's see, what is he saying here? Mick might have a better cast on their team, but you can't change the head or tail of the snake. Despite the head coaching change, Towns and Jalen's great offensive players, but terrible on defensive end. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. I'm going to give Shaq Lindsay a dunk because he's echoing something that I just said, and I believe and he's exactly right. It's like this is the thing. They've been shown to be Achilles heels and a very high level basketball, and I see it. I see what he's saying. 87 on the dunk charts for Shaq Lindsay. Yeah, he might have wrote that before I said that. That's right. Making them play faster isn't going to help. It's probably going to make it worse. Seriously. Some people complain the Raptors play too crazy all over the place, and that's why easy scores get scored on us. Well, if the Knicks do this and they don't have a backup at the rim with Jakob like we do, see, this is part of the secret for the Raptors. We can cheat and go after steals because Pirtle is usually back there to stop whoever gets to the rim just in case they get around us. Now, is Anthony Towns going to patrol the lane like that and play defensively like a shot blocker? He's always been an outside three-point shooting kind of guy, and Rudy was the one who did that in Minnesota. He was the lane protector. So, yeah, in some ways, that's part of how it works for the Raptors. We need Pirtle. That's why we extended him. And we can be a gambler on the transition defense and going after steals with Jamal and Elijah and all them when they know that Pirtle is the last line of defense near the basket, just in case anybody gets by. So I don't know if the Knicks can do this with their personnel. I really don't. If they're showing signs that they're trying to do this because everybody's a copycat in a copycat league, well, this might be fun to see which teams in this league can actually be the play hard teams that Rick Carlisle talks about. And which teams in this league are going to fail miserably because they just don't have the right personnel to play all out. And I'm telling you right now, at least one or two of these teams, if they try to do this, some of the players are going to rebel and they're going to hate their coach because they're working them too hard. I'm telling you right now, that shit is going to happen. Fiercely saying, I see Kennard as a three-point specialist. So is Grady, but in addition, he can drive, defend, and steal. Yeah, and that's part of what's great about the interview with Sampson today is that Sampson really kind of fleshes out how Grady Dick is just so much more than a three-point shooter. And a lot of it is like the attacking the rim and the athleticism, the touch. And, there's stuff that he can grow on the defensive end too. And he will. He's got to show that. That's the biggest area of improvement that'll give him the more ammunition to stick around on the Raptors and be long-term over other guys on the team. Grady the biggest weakness may be defense for him. But if he can become more and more solid on defense in all kinds of ways, That's going to be good. That's going to be very, very good. That's right. Kaloy's here. Good morning to Carlo JS. Good morning to Santino. Morning, Lex and fellow freaks. As per Sampson's article, Mobo is one of the best pick and roll defenders in the NBA, and he's doing that on his first year. Mobo has a path to stay on the NBA, even if it's not on the Raptors. Yeah. But once again, he loves being on the Raptors. We heard that in the Summer League Open Gym extra episode. He said, I love this team. I love being on the Raptors. I love the Raptors. So let's not mess with this. Seriously. We want Scotty to be happy. You don't want to screw over his best friend. Seriously. Now, Scotty's a realist. He understands, and we've seen it on 2K with Lloyd. He'll cut guys from his team if they're not pulling their weight, if they're not playing well enough. And if there ever got to a point where Jonathan was not the best option for the Raptors and Bobby could explain it to Scotty, I'm sure he'd accept it, even though he's his best friend, But I don't see this scenario right now, especially if Jonathan doesn't mind getting, lesser contracts and just being in the filler in the salary. We shouldn't be worried about stashing him and keeping him on our team for long term because he's a small potatoes kind of guy. And, if he's playing the effort, he's doing things that Darko likes. He's showing more and more gains in defense and development. He has no problem staying on this team long term because it's not like, what is he going to get to the point where he's got to have to be paid a certain amount of money, or he's going to walk, or he's going to test free agency waters? I don't know. Would some other team try and entice him away from us? Maybe, but I don't know. I think that he can long term be here for sure. I think that Kaloy's right. Let's see. News and notes. Tickets officially on sale for the home opener, and tickets officially on sale now for OVO and Vibes Cartel. Holy pricing. Yeah, I seen Doozy talking about this because he really wants to go see Vibes Cartel. Vibes Cartel has not played in Toronto ever before until now, and apparently the tickets are ridiculous. They're absolute ridiculous. Yeah, single season tickets, single game tickets are available for the season now. You don't have to buy a big package right now. You can get your tickets for the Raptors games officially. Thank you, Mo, for the announcement. Kaloy saying, I freaking hate how fans now look down on Mobo now that we have Colin. We need them both. Remember, injuries happen, and this guy is defensively unique. Just because we have Colin, we have to be down on Mobo? No, we don't. And Kaloy's right. I mean, I get it. It's like when you see people gain something, and this is getting back to what I was saying yesterday about scarcity mindset and abundance mindset. If you think that there's only a finite amount of something and something, then you get combative and you get like all for me, all for me, all for me. You can't be that way. There is abundance in this world. And in the Raptors, it's not necessarily, there's 48 minutes. There's only a certain amount of shots. There's a certain amount of minutes. There's a certain amount of touches. There's a certain amount of everything, and it goes around. But nobody's thinking that way. Now, fans are conditioned to think this way by society in a scarcity mindset. It's the biggest myth of capitalism that keeps society the way it is, with making things scarce. We have enough water. We have enough of all this stuff. It's just that greedy people take those commodities and they make them scarce for profiting. And in some ways in the NBA, you could get all weird about, I need to get 25. I'm Brandon Ingram. I need to get this. I'm an IQ. I need to get this. I'm CMB. These guys aren't like that, because they know that their individual stats and having a certain idea what their stats is going to be is not important. Winning and being a team and getting the W's is what is important. But still, there's a lot of people in Raptors fan nation that worry about stats and look at all that other minutia and the selfish shit from a scarcity mindset. The reporters have a scarcity mindset too. When Grange asks Scotty about fitting in and who's going to get the touches between him and Brandon, and how are you going to lose stuff because Brandon's here all of a sudden. It's not the way Darko has set up his team to think. Their minds don't think this way. It's all for one, one for all. And they're happy when anybody gets something. Think of it this way. They're a unit. They're all together. And in some ways, as they succeed, they all succeed together. And nobody's selfishly thinking, oh, damn it, Oshai's getting all my shots. He's getting all my minutes right now. No, there's no tolerance for that on the Raptors. Some people can't understand abundance mindset because they're so conditioned by scarcity mindset. So go study this. Seriously. If you're like, what the fuck is Lex talking about? Abundance versus scarcity. Go look at this. There's tons of research, tons of books, tons of ways that you can change your life today if you switch from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, you may be happier than you've ever been in your life if you can find the secrets of thinking this way. And that's why these guys are happy. That's why these guys aren't threatened, because Darko has an abundance mindset on this team. And these guys know that the success of their friend, their brother on the team is their own success. And that's what we all got to start thinking about it that way. People that are worried about the pecking order and they're going to say Murray Boyles over Mobo, in some ways, that's not even what this is all about. Nobody cares about that in the inside. If Mobo plays a certain way, he's going to get his. He knows that. That's it right there. That's right. Wayne's saying, at Mo, I appreciate you. So I say this respectfully. And as a Caribbean native, Vibes Cartel is a terrible example. I don't really know anything about them at all. So I don't even think I've ever heard them, but I do know that some people are very excited about it. It sounds like a big money grab and kind of a weird thing. It seems like ridiculous, the prices. Like it seems like absolutely ridiculous, the couple things I've heard. Isaac saying, Dunk at Lex for postal talk. It is a service, just like healthcare. Think the other way and become America. That's right. That's right. We want free healthcare here in Canada. You know how many people in Canada went into medical debt last year? 0, because we have free healthcare. You want to know how many Americans went into medical debt last year and how many? This can be way more this year, over 30,000. So look, that's one of the great things about Canada being greater than the United States, is because we take care of our country and our people, and healthcare being a right instead of a privilege is an important thing. Now, money grubbing people are trying to privatize our healthcare behind our backs with Doug Ford, and we can't allow this. Seriously, say no to privatization of social services that are necessary for our society to be at its best and healthiest. Because listen, there's a lot of bad examples in the United States, and we don't want to copy anything they're doing down there, because they're destroying their country literally right in front of us every day right now. So everything the United States does, they're a great sibling to show what you don't do in your life. No, in some ways you can have a person in your life, man, his life is a dumpster fire. Yeah, he's really teaching me how not to live. Well, that's what this is right now. Canada does not need to aspire to mimic the United States in any kind of way in the phase they're in right now. Seriously. And Doug Ford, in some ways, if you want to be a popular premier of Ontario, you need to fucking get away from any kind of looking like the MAGA in so many different ways. Seriously. And, privatizing healthcare ain't the right thing. In some ways, healthcare costs have gone, the services for healthcare in Canada has gone worse since more privatization has happened in the shadows around it right now. So just know this. There's forces out there that are going to talk shit about electric cars and renewables. They're getting paid to do that. There's forces out there that will talk shit about Canada Post. There's forces out there that will talk shit about our healthcare system and how it's broken. And they're all lying. They are lying because they want to get the lobbyists. They want to get their clients more business to suck off us like parasites. And that's the truth. Thank you, Isaac. You appreciate my Canada Post stand? Yeah, I will give myself a dunk for that. I feel very strongly about this because I'm seeing a lot of bullshit on social media right now that's anti-Canada Post, and it's misleading. The problem here is that they're trying to privatize our postal service, and that is never a good thing. Trust me. That's never a good thing. You like having free postal when you can get stuff delivered. You just pay a stamp. Well, you won't like it as much when a private company is gouging you for prices to send stuff. So save Canada Post is what I'm saying, guys. Fiercely saying Mitchell Robinson and Brunson are good, but not enough to carry the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson's a good defensive player. In some ways, I would have more respect for the Knicks if he was still their starting center. In some ways, I don't respect Cat. I really don't. I think that he's a glorified three-point shooter at this point, and he's a lazy person. That's what I say. Monique saying, W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Just helping me limit the comments. Thank you, Mo. We're at an hour and a half. We got a little bit more time. Blackhawk saying, Darko said he will rotate players to maximize energy, so no need to worry about calling Mobo yada, yada, yada minutes. Yeah, exactly. They're going to be running them so ragged, and he's saying he's going to do an 11-man rotation sometimes. So there's going to be enough for everybody. Now, like I said, don't expect Mobo to play as much as last year. And he may really need to play a lot on 905 to get as much time and reps as he can. In some ways, Mobo and Battle last year were the guys who played the most between the two teams. They got a lot of time on the court, and that's what 905 and the G League is for, is guys that are not totally full in the NBA They got to go down there and supplement their time and get a lot of reps down there. So it's the same thing, same assignment this year. And in some ways, the pie in the NBA game may not be as big for Jonathan. You got to figure this. Mobo started a bunch of games last year. I don't think that's going to be happening this year. I mean, unless the people we're missing are at the front court and they want to do it just to help with front court. But otherwise, Sandro should be the plug-in for Jakob if he's out. And, people like Grady, Oshai, Jacoby, and Colin will be in line to jump in that starting lineup just in case anybody else is missing. So, and Shed, just in case it's the point guard, right? So, yeah, I think that there's going to be way more than enough for all the mouths to get fed on this team. And Jonathan's got to look at it this way. Look, you're in the NBA, and it's not all just woo right on up. There's going to be a little bit. Grady Dick, his second year was disappointing in some ways, but like Darko said in an interview lately, that's the thing. And your first year goes a certain way, and then your second year goes a certain way. And sometimes there's a little bit of a decline or different issues you got to deal with in your sophomore year than in your rookie year because everything's so new and it's all orientation. Well, that's what these 5 rookies from last year are going to be going through this year. Shed, Walter, Mobo, Battle, and Shamshay. And Grady went through it last year. So it's just going to be part of it. And it's like I said, Mobo may have started more games last year. He may have played more for the Raptors last year, but it's not likely this year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, Garrett Temple's sitting at the bench next to John and they say, just be ready, youngster. Just be ready. They're going to call you. They're going to call you when you're ready. And it may be Jonathan doesn't play for like 5 or 6 games all of a sudden. But then Darko calls him and he gets him in there. And that's the thing. That's where he needs to excel. He needs to come out there and show, you know what, Darko? You should have been playing me this whole time. And I'm going to show you exactly why. That's the mentality Jonathan's got to have this year. That's the time. Because when he gets his spot to get out there and prove it, he needs to take that ball and run with it. Literally to the basket and dunk it. Don't try and lay it up. Dunk it. That's what I tell you to Mobo. Dunk it. That's right. That's right. That's right. Right there. Let's see. Fiercely saying sharing is caring. The abundance mindset is what will help achieve the goal, team effort. And on a bigger level, this whole entire world needs more of an abundance mindset. The lie of scarcity mindset is just destroying the world. It's what makes us dog eat dog. It's what makes us turn on our neighbors. It's what makes us all believe that there isn't enough for everybody. There's just really greedy ass people at the top hoarding most of the wealth and the resources. And if we get to a more equalized place in our society, especially with AI and automation and all kinds of stuff, with the UBI, where we can get a floor payment plan for everybody to be taken care of, we'll be in good shape. They may be saying, oh, they want to give free money to everybody. Yeah, we do. Because honestly, you could give free money to people. They can have a baseline so that everybody can have a house over their head and food on the table. That's what's best for society. It's not starving people out or threatening people and to be fearful of going to jail just because they dissent politically with a fucking wannabe king. No, that's not freedom. And that's not a good world. We need to fight for the world we want to shape. And in some ways, we're going to have upheaval. There's going to have to be some ugliness. And we're going to have to go and make it very clear that we want this world and not the world that they're trying to force on us. Seriously. It's a very important fight. It's a fight for the future for all the generations to come. Because if we don't do this now, while things are still somewhat normal to what they were before, the new world that gets shaped right now is going to get ensconced, and it's not going to be good for the people in the future. And people will be mad at us that we didn't do more to try and shape it in a more positive way for abundance for all and equality. That's a serious thing, man, what I just said right there. And take it very seriously. Some people on the sideline, they don't even care. They're like, none of this matters. Both parties are corrupt. They suck. Trust me. If you're sidelining and you're not participating or not active or caring about this shit, your ancestors in the future will be like, I hate my great-great-grandfather because he sat on the sidelines and didn't do jack shit to help us. And now we live in this surveillance state, dystopia, where half of us are in prison. And it's just a really fucked up world. Seriously. Blackhawk saying prison has taken away much of Vibes Cartel's vitality. He is not the best of health. He has immune deficiency issues. You're paying to see him before his health deteriorates more. Okay, I have no idea who that person is. That guy's name is Prison? Oh, his name is Vibes Cartel? I thought it was a cartel. It's like a bunch of guys, like a group, like Wu-Tang Clan. That's one dude, Vibes Cartel. See, this is Lex showing his ass on not having a blind spot here. Okay, I thought they were like a cartel or something like that. But is one dude and he was in prison. Okay, so people are paying the money because they want to see him now. Okay. And he wants that money a lot because he needs a retirement plan. Okay, I'm getting it now. Seymour saying I should have grabbed 10 tickets and sold 9 for 100 a pop. Damn, I missed out on the hustle. You can be a scalper. You trying to do that, man? Man, what you, I mean, whatever. He wants to see more pape one way or another. That's what's going on there. That's right. He's saying, at Mark, I'm in the hunt for, hang on. I'm in the hunt for that Raptors 15 jersey. I might see like 1,000 of them. Every Raps fan got a Vince jersey. Be there or be squared. Yeah, I'm not sure Mark is here with us this morning, but yeah, Seymour, you go find him. And if you're wearing a Raptors Freak shirt, I'm sure he'll be able to figure out it's you. I'm sure he'll be able to figure that out. Yeah, Raptor Freaks, let's go. Let's go, Seymour. You see Scotty, you go near the court. Get as close as you can and say, Raptors Freak, Raptors Freaks. And see if Scotty perks up and looks over at you. And if he sees you, he makes eye contact, say, Raptors Freak to his face. And see if he walks over to you. Seriously, we'll have to see if this works. It worked for Tom. It worked for Tom in Vancouver. So maybe it'll work for Seymour in Calgary. We'll have to see. Shaq Lindsay saying, don't expect Mitchell Robinson to run. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Players that are willing to go crazy and do that for their coaches, in some ways, it's a special situation because a lot of players are lazy. I mean, some people complain like, please, Raptors, don't play the way you're going to play because you're going to make us have to run on our team on the other side. There's players in the league that are like that. They're like, oh, fuck, we're playing the Raptors tonight. They're going to hound us. They're going to play really hard. And in some ways, we're going to have to play harder and do more. I just want to collect the bag and be in the NBA and be the lifestyle. I don't really want to work hard. Oh, my gosh. Now I'm going to have to run because Elijah Martin's here. Oh, my gosh. There's going to be shit like that. There are players in the league that have the mindset I just described, guys. Seriously. And we ain't got none of them on our team. Bobby Webster's vetting them and making sure they ain't no lazy asses that don't want to run on the Raptors. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying Josh Hart got ejected in the first preseason game. Looks like he injured himself too. Injury to insult to injury. There you go. Vibes Cartel is an artist. Okay. And will they throw me out for recording? I don't know. I would say this. Follow the rules or whatever they tell you when you come in. If they say no video filming, but you can take pictures, okay, that's different. They may have that rule. They may be like, just don't film it video-wise. Maybe you can do a little TikTok for 15 seconds like Aaron Ben Rose. Maybe you can do that. I don't know. They're going to have rules very delineated when you're coming in. And they do treat practices different. The Raptors do really take this seriously. Like Darko said in that report, we take this very seriously. And in some ways, they have protocols and they do not want all that they do in the practices broadcast publicly. They really don't. Seymour saying, worst moment was the Raptors mascot getting booted from our own gym for Booker's free throws. I can't get that out of my head. Yeah, that was silly. It was funny, but that was only because that arena was empty and he was the only one there. Yeah, that was funny. That's a great moment in Raptors history. In some ways, I don't care about that. I think it's just a goofy little footnote out. And it's funny that the whole relationship between Devin Booker and the Raptor mascot is kind of funny. Every time the Suns come through Toronto, they do kind of touch base. Let's just put it that way. The Raptor and Devin Booker. There may be like a funny photo op or something like that. It's goofy, man. It's goofy. All right, let's go to Raptors Reddit reactions. Let's see. They figured out through S from Raptors Republic that the Raptors second unit has been wearing the gray jerseys at training camp this week. And it's looking like the second unit is Jamal Shed, Grady Dick, Oshai Abaji, Colin Murray Boyles, and Sandro Mamu. So if that's saying anything, we know our starting five. There's your next five up. Jamal, Grady, Oshai, Colin, and Mamu. And that's interesting because Jacoby is not on that team. He's on the green team, which is the next team after that, I believe. This is where Jacoby was with Elijah and some of those other guys. So very, very interesting observations. There's a really clean, nice Vancouver Canada Series shirt that is out, limited edition to coincide with their game on Monday. Yeah, it's cool. It's the Raptor, and it looks like it's some sort of ramen bowl with the chopsticks. So, yeah, Vancouver, BC, 25, Canada series is what the shirt says, and it's talking all about the Raptors, we the North. And they also have a restaurant in Vancouver that's doing a special meal in honor of the Raptors. You can go get it, limited time while it's going on. I think it is a ramen or something like that. So yeah, go get your special ramen, Raptor ramen or whatever they got in Vancouver right now while they got it. Get it while you can, just like a Siakam McFlurry, y'all. Just like a Siakam McFlurry. Yeah, so that's our Raptors Reddit. Their Bleacher Report is ranked as 25 out of 30. Oh, Bleacher Report, you dumbasses. Yeah, none of us care what Bleacher Report thinks, obviously. They're from New York and they hate us, obviously. 25th out of 30. That's not going to age well at all. Not in the least. That's not going to age well at all. 25th in the league. Y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. What do you think we are? Wasting our time? All right, y'all. Straight goods on Canadian goods. This is a big food company here in Canada, and they are a good one. They're a Canadian one, McCain. That's right. We talk about McCain, French fries. You're going to go to that frozen section. You want to get some French fries and put them in your freezer, and you can eat them at some point. Get them McCain spirals. So good. McCain Foods Limited is Canadian owned and manufactures its frozen potato products in Canada. Not only do they do the frozen products of the French fries, they also have their great cakes. Remember? Yeah, the deep and delicious McCain cakes, Canadian-owned company with cake manufactured in Canada. So if you want to go Canadian, French fries or cakes, McCain. It's a big corporation, and they're a big player in the food industry. In fact, they got them down south. You can buy Canadian in the United States. If you see McCain, that's a Canadian brand. So if you want to support Canada on the other side of the border, well, you can get McCain too down in the States. So McCain, that's your straight goods on Canadian goods today. That's right. Remember, guys, our Raptor Freak Fantasy NBA season will be starting on Sunday because we're doing the draft in the morning on the show in 2 days. We'll be drafting live on this show, and I hope everybody who's in participation of the league, the 16 teams, will be there or be square. If you're not going to be there, better pre-draft rank your selections. That is the way you want it, or you'll get a garbage team in your absence. Just trust me on that. That's right. Happy birthday to Greg Foster, LA Laker champion, but also a Raptor. At the end of his career, Greg Foster ended up playing 29 games for the Raptors. At the end of his career, he got 4.2 points per game. And in fact, in Toronto, when he played for the Raptors, he started a few games for us. He started at least 9 games, and he averaged the highest amount of minutes per game in his whole entire NBA career when he played on the Raptors. He averaged almost 19 minutes a game when he played for the Raptors. He also averaged his highest rebound total, tied with a year in Utah. So happy birthday to former Raptor Greg Foster, more well known for playing with Karl Malone and John Stockton in Utah, but also won a championship with Shaq and Kobe in LA. And yeah, he's 57 today. So happy 57th birthday, former Raptor Greg Foster. That's right. Greg Foster's birthday. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying, I remember getting that cake with KFC. Oh, you mean like the strawberry shortcake? Yeah, KFC used to have like little strawberry shortcake little containers. You go in there, you get your KFC box, original or crispy or whatever, and then they'd have the little pudding or the strawberry shortcake parfaits in there. I remember those. I don't remember McCain cakes being there, but yeah, Neil's laughing. McCain cake is proper. Yeah, deep and delicious. It's in the name. It's delicious and it's deep. You can ponder on it and get philosophical. That's right. Back when KFC was actually chicken. Yeah, KFC is American. I'll never eat there again. Seriously. I've written off every single American company in Canada. I will never, ever use them ever again. None of them. None of them. Don't try and buy me nothing from no American companies because I ain't trying to have it. I'm Canada all the way. I'm going straight Canadian on the Canadian goods in all kinds of ways in my life, as much as possible. Seriously. I know it's tough because YouTube's American, and I'm on YouTube right now. But as in many areas as I can, well, it's A&W over McDonald's. It's Second Cup over Starbucks. It is any kind of American product is not coming to my house. It's not coming here at this point. And this is for the rest of my life. I want them to understand we don't fuck around with this elbows up shit. We are going to elbows up for the rest of our life. You turned off a lot of Canadians with your bullshit and your rhetoric about a 51st state, Donald Trump. And we don't forget this shit. And I stand on my boycotts. In fact, I've been boycotting NBC since they screwed over Conan O'Brien like 20 years ago almost. So yeah, I'll hold on to this shit and it'll be for the rest of my life. So yeah, it ain't gonna be it. You support me, Fangal? I support you, man. And if you want, do it like me, man. Seriously, do it like me, man. Because seriously, that's one of the things I'm doing on this channel. I don't necessarily only want to be a Raptors fan as an example, as a leader. I want to be a leader in life also, a leader for you guys to live happier, a leader for us to have a better world. And that's part of what I'm doing here also. And that's the part that some people don't like on my channel. Is Lex, oh man, he's too left. He's talking too much politics. But in some ways, if you're not political and you're not talking about politics right now, well, you may not have some sort of future in some sort of way, because there are people that are coming to destroy democracy right now. And we need to stop them. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying, who do you go for tacos? Laugh out loud. You know what a great place to get tacos in Toronto is? Seven Lives down in Kensington Kensington Market. Seven Lives is locally owned, Canadian business right in the heart of Kensington Market. You go down there to Seven Lives and say hi to those guys, man. They're awesome, man. They have the best tacos in Toronto. And man, the octopus, woo! Those octopus tacos, they are something else. So go to Seven Lives. If you guys know about Seven Lives in Kensington Market, you are going to a good taco place. I'm telling you right now. Feng Gao San, that's just like us. Chinese never buy Japanese. You know what? Listen, that's part of it. That's right. And in some ways, it's like, look, you know, I have a lot of respect for China because I know that you guys are green revolutionizing your country. And I wish they do that more here. But instead, we're idiots over here. The fossil fuel companies are making us still go in the fossil fuel directions. Meanwhile, China is doing things in a more green way. Y'all are going to be the leaders of the world because of it. And I respect that because honestly, listen, China's not perfect. China does have some problems with human rights, but hey, United States is worse in some ways right now with dragging little children out in zip ties out of an apartment building in Chicago recently this week with the ICE. So it's like, look, the U.S. has no ground to stand on to chastise China for any kind of human rights abuses at this point, because they are just as bad as them, if not worse in some ways. So this one thing I will say, though, I really hope that the Chinese government will respect Taiwan and leave them alone and not try and go get them right now. I feel like China in some ways has a really good attitude about things, and their ingenuity is really good right now in the world. They are ready and poised to be the new world leader. And that the United States has dropped the ball with Donald Trump. It's not going to be Russia because they're depleted with Putin's stupid ass war in Ukraine. It's going to be China and India. They're going to rise up and be the superpowers in the world. And I look forward to China being more humanitarian to the world and helping people around the world and picking up the mantle where the United States has dropped the ball. Canada on some level will be doing things to help in the world leadership also, as being a good example of how to run your country in freedom and democracy. But China really is going to be the superpower in the future because honestly, the United States just burned their own house down with a Donald Trump fucking malignant narcissist in the fucking White House. So there you go. That's how I feel about it right there. Yeah, I love the Japanese people also. I love Chinese and Japanese. I think that Japan's an amazing country, but I can understand where the two of those countries in their proximity in different ways have had different kind of trade wars also. And that's something to be right there. Yeah, Isaac saying, we the North, this season is 5 years in the making. And that 5 years is number 4, Scott Wayne Barnes. That's right. Seymour saying, both Chinese and Japanese food is amazing, not going to lie. Yeah, I love sushi. And man, I just went to Mandarin last weekend. Woo-wee! I loaded up at Mandarin. I'm telling you, Chet Holmgren, you still need to go down there and lock the door and sit in Mandarin for 4 hours and see if you can put some more weight on your bony ass, Oklahoma City Thunder. Seriously, bro. Feng Gao, welcome. I hope you come in here more often, man. The Raptor Freaks, we're worldwide. We're international. And I would love to have more Raptor Freaks in China in general. You want to be China chapter president? You go ahead, man. Get the Raptor Freaks organized in China. Let's go. We the North, baby. That's right. At the end of the days, I saw Barnes last year in my hometown in Wuhan. That's right. He came to Asia. He's gone over a couple times, and he did go to China. And you know, this is great for him because, listen, that's a huge market. You know, people like James Harden going over there riding cars and being goofy and stuff like that. You know, that's a really smart thing to do because there's a lot of merchandising and advertising and markets there. Scotty has the whole market of Canada as the face of the Raptors, but it's very smart for him to come and visit you guys. And you saw him over there. And in some ways, Scotty going to Wuhan made another fan in Feng Gao. So I'm just saying, y'all, that's what it's all about. We international here on the Raptor Freak channel. That's right. We international here. That's right. Wuhan Love from Canada. That's right. I don't blame them for anything that happened with that shit. That's all media bullshit trying to come at Chinese people for COVID and shit like that. You know, maybe or it originated in certain ways around that area, but that ain't no reason to blame people because listen, they just live there and it's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's messed up. Instead of blaming people for a pandemic that happened and something that was really tragic where a lot of people died, there's no finger pointing. It's just a tragedy. And let's just get together and on the same page and fight it together. That's what I say on that. That's right. You want to visit Tibet? Yeah. Yeah. Dalai Lama. I love that guy. Seriously. He's an influence on me, the Dalai Lama. Yeah. I had a landlord that I lived in his house for years recently that was Chinese named Mr. Lee. He's in Kensington. And Mr. Lee taught me a lot about China when I lived at his house. And in some ways, him and I became very close. And he taught me Chinese culture. And he went to China quite often while I was living at his house. And when he would go to China, I was in charge of his house for him. I was. He trusted me that much. I was like the landlord when he was gone. And I was also his English interpreter when we would rent to new people in his house. Because he had a lot of rooms in his big, huge 200-year-old house on Kensington Avenue. And I would literally be the guy renting for him. He's standing there smiling and saying, yeah, Alex, yeah. And I would tell the guy in English what to expect renting from Mr. Lee. So I have a lot of good ties with Chinese people. I was living in Chinatown in Toronto for a little while there too. So yeah. I was so proud to introduce Barnes to my hometown. Yeah, that's awesome, man. You sound like a great Raptors fan. I look forward to sharing this year with you, and I hope you are on our channel more often. Seriously, we're always looking for passionate, diehard Raptors fans. It doesn't matter what area of the world you're in. Amit's in Israel. We've got fans in Africa. We've got fans in the States that are on this channel with us. We've got fans all around the world. That's the Raptors brand. And you know what? All the Chinese Raptors fans that want to learn more about the Raptors, come watch the Raptors Freak. We'll keep you in the loop from over here in Ontario, here in Toronto. That's right. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here, y'all. Oh, wait. Ha-ha! That's right. Don't forget your classic card, Lex. Trying to get out of here before the classic card. Oh, wow. This is a great one. This is fun. I just pulled this one randomly, guys. So be quick on this, guys. Full name answer. You know the full name answer will get the trivia points. This is not going to be for much because this is going to be easy. Y'all better get this right away. We want to be done at 2 hours. So here you go. Here it is, guys. Look who's our classic card today. And he's in the Memphis jersey. That's right there. Yeah, definitely. All right. Awesome, man. I hope I see you all the time, man. Seriously. You could be a regular on the channel with us if you want. You're in the fold, bro. You're RFF now. Come on now. All right. Yeah, come on now. Diehard Raptors fan since 94. All right. You're like me, man. Jonas Valanciunas is the right answer. Of course, that's big science of Denver Nuggets back up to Jokic. We'll see Jonas on Monday. He will be playing against the Raptors in the first preseason game in Vancouver when we take to the court for the first appearance of the Raptors for the season in a preseason scrimmage game against the Denver Nuggets. So, yeah, just ahead of you, Slug Deezy. Just ahead of you right there, Jonas Valanciunas. Yeah. I love that thing. I love that, man. So you're from the Damon Stoudemire era. You're not a Johnny-come-lately. I appreciate that. I'm just like you, man. I've been along the whole ride with the Raptors since the very, very beginning. The very, very beginning, just like you. That's right. All right, let's see. Let's put in Jonas for Isaac. I like that Isaac got it. And let's see. It's only 50. I can't give you more than that. If Harrison Barnes is 50 points yesterday, Jonas Valanciunas is 52. That's right. Welcome to the stream, Fengao. Yeah, hope I'm saying your name right. And like I said, anybody who finds my channel and you want to participate in the chat, you're more than welcome. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and you can talk. And, you know, there's all kinds of good perks. There's perks to being a member of the channel, too. You can join the channel and help support the channel and get access to our Discord and our Facebook group run by the superfan Monique Lawrence. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Jakob will school him. That's right. Jakob versus Jonas is fun because they were teammates for a while and they actually are cool with each other. So, like, if you see Jonas and Jakob around each other, there's a lot of palling around because Jakob was a rook underneath Jonas, and he did play with him for years. He played with him for like the first 2 years or 3 years of his career. So they're close. They're friends. All right, y'all. I'm almost at 2 hours. Let's get out of here right on the 2 hour dot. I appreciate everybody going over another day of training camp with me from Calgary. And the Raptors Open Scrimmage will happen tonight. I wish all the best to Seymour Pape and Mark Tavares and the rest going to the practice tonight. I hope you guys are successful in getting your pictures and just having a blast. Just soak it in. Take the moment in and enjoy the Raptors in your city of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Lance Storm. And, just enjoy the weekend. And tomorrow, share the love club for the NBA, guys. Let's share the love for the whole entire organization and the fact that the NBA is back and we can all get excited about another season right now. Happy Friday. W for Seymour. That's right. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptor Freaks. Woo! Yeah! Let's go Raptors!